What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys can tell, we're working on Gabriel's Excursion, and we're getting it ready because I'm gonna need a tow rig this year or this upcoming year, and Gabriel's pretty much volunteered this bad boy for those duties. However, she is in some major need of maintenance that this man over here is gonna learn today. So a few items on the agenda. We got as you guys can see in the beginning of the video, we have a starter issue we got to figure out. And the reason we have a starter issue is because we have a high pressure oil leak in typical 6.0 fashion. So we're gonna have to figure that out. And then we got some other things we're gonna take care of. We got a EGT probe for his live wire, so we can figure out how many EGTs you're running, because he already burnt up a turbo. We also got a intercooler because this fancy one we have here that I'll show you guys later just keeps breaking. So we got the CSF radiator, which in my opinion is a great value for your dollar for a intercooler, especially on like a low power truck. You don't need to go spending all kinds of money on $1,000 intercooler. These intercoolers we use day in and day out here at the shop, and we have no problem. Another thing we got to do is we're going to take out this tail housing, and I want to see, because we're still having a transmission shifting issue. If you guys remember, we rebuilt this transmission a few months ago again, and we're still don't have it quite right. When building my other 5R for our 6.0, we found that there's some seals in the back here that honestly I don't remember if I even installed them, so we're going to find out if they're there. So we got quite a bit of work to do today. So without further ado, might as well just get into it.
So this is our starter right here. Yesterday, my other starter went bad as I was trying to get it started to go home. So we had this one here at the shop, and we went ahead and pulled that one in real quick, and it got the truck to start. However, it seems like it's getting stuck open and it's hitting the flex plate. So we're gonna find out whether it's bad or it's been sitting here, just might need some to be lubed. So we'll figure that out and let you guys know what we come up with. And
forgot to mention before you go about messing with the starter, always make sure you disconnect your batteries, both sides. Just pop the ground off, and you'll have a much better time not getting shocked.
which one?
Your tensioner. Remember, you got that tab. So what's cool about the 6.0s, because they know you're going to be working on them a lot, there's actually like a tab under here, right? Kind of hard to see, but basically it makes it real easy to take out your belt. Just kind of be a man and pull it, and keep tension with the other hand on that tab, and it will basically lock the tensioner in place, and you can get the belt off nice and easy.
I don't know if I can get it up.
Oh, why'd you bend it that way?
Oh, up.
Okay, so you want to pull the tab, push the tab into the tensioner, not pull it out like this numbnut did.
Thank God.
So
I'm not doing it by myself though.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. So basically we're just taking the belt off. That way we can do the front crank seal underneath the truck while we got it up in the air. Because as you guys can see, when we initially built this truck, we left out the inner stator because we are running a mechanical fan clutch on this as well. So look at how much easier it's going to be to take off that front pulley and do that front main seal.
All right, so we found something pretty cool. I went to take the belt off, and look at this guy. This is 2023 version of serpentine belts. They are a lot modern, you know, they come apart.
Don't let them fool you. That's called lacking maintenance. The man works at a mechanic shop and doesn't maintain his own truck. All right, so luckily with the 5Rs, you can get the output shaft, the tail housing off without pulling the transmission itself. And now the seals that I've been going after are these right here, or that aren't right here. These are the seals that basically seal up this part of the output shaft and feeds all the lube circuits here to the different bearings in the back half of the transmission. So, I mean, obviously I don't want to have forgotten something, but I'm honestly glad that I found that. Reason being is because I've been fighting this transmission for the better part of a year and a half now, trying to get it to shift well, trying to make it work, and it just has not worked, no matter what I do. And it's not until I basically was looking through the manual and seen those seals that I know I've never seen before in this unit and thought about it. So my theory is, and we're gonna see if that's the truth, is that we're basically bleeding off line pressure throughout the whole transmission from that weak seal or no seal situation there. And that's what's causing the erratic shifts, because basically line pressure is all erratic. So don't know, honestly never checked line pressure. I probably should have, just never had the time to, but I guess we're gonna find out. We're gonna slam in some new seals, lube it up, get a new tail housing gasket on there, and take it on a test drive once we get the rest of this done. But pretty stoked that that was missing. Obviously, again, I don't want to forget stuff, but at least we found a problem, because in all the times I've taken this transmission apart, I haven't found like a concrete issue with the transmission. Granted, I've missed that, so that's on me. But again, that's part of learning. It is what it is, and that's why we learn with our own vehicles here at the shop, rather than trying it out on customer stuff. So it's all part of learning. But anyways, let's check on Gabe, see how he's doing with the starter.
Got one bolt left.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
And there's the old one, so you guys can see actually.
Yeah, it just looks like an old starter.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you though. Look at that. You're what, 10 minutes in?
Yeah.
Last time took you over an hour to do one?
Yes, sir.
That's all that matters. Improvement.
That's that one bolt up there.
Sheesh. So he's got the starter out, and what did you find when you pulled the starter?
So the power cable actually was hand tight. You can see there's actually a little bit spaced out, and we're thinking that by being like that, it was causing the starter actually to stay open while the truck's running.
Yeah, so my theory was that it was just stuck out. That's why we pulled it. But I was running on the assumption that when y'all put it in, it was tight.
Hey,
so,
it wasn't me this time.
Yeah, so
also
we're gonna
do it real quick though.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and throw this back in there, and we'll just try it again with it tight. It'll probably work just fine now. So remember, kids, tighten all your bolts. Then speaking of left loose bolts, we caught his drive shaft bolts just in time. They were all nice and loose, hand tight, except one. Because what happened? What was one loose or one tight?
Because I was missing one, so I got a new one after I was driving for a while without it, and I tightened that one, I think.
So a good rule of thumb is if you're missing bolts, it's probably because the thing's loose. So check all the other bolts if you're replacing one bolt.
And also, don't worry, I do not work on vehicles here.
Yeah, guys, he does not work on any other vehicles except this one. And judging by what I'm seeing already, I think we have a long road to go on. This one video is not going to cover everything we're going to have to do to get this truck ready to tow the Mega across country or wherever we end up going next year. It's a great truck overall, just we got quite a bit of work ahead of us. So we're just going to keep cracking away. I got to find the seals for the transmission, get them installed. He's going to put the starter in, and then we can get it down. We'll do the rest of the stuff. While Gabriel's over here actually installing his starter correctly, we're going to get the harmonic balancer off. We're going to get the new front main seal on, because you guys can see we got quite a bit of a oily mess. This is something that I learned a few years ago, and before we had, or after we had built this truck, is the Molly front crank seals just don't seem to last. We use Molly seals in a lot of vehicles and a lot of the 6.0s, but the front crank seals, pretty much everyone we put in, we had to take back out and replace with an OEM. Even though they look exactly the same, something's different about them. So Pretty simple. Just got your 4 bolts here. Pop the harmonic balancer off. Then we got the oil pump cover. I just pull that whole thing off with the seal, and then we can clean it all up, put it all back together, and install the new seal with our fancy dancy tools. So you guys kind of have a better view now of how nasty this front seal is. You can see pretty much fresh oil right there, all caked up. So definitely want to get this fixed. Maybe get the HOA off your ass. Leaking on the driveway and stuff. They don't call them 6 leakers for no reason. All right, so the last thing I got to do is pull off this wear sleeve. There's a few ways to do it. You could heat it up and pry it off. You can take a chisel and cut a line down it and basically open it up. You could also take like a Sawzall or a cutoff wheel and do the same thing. Only issue I have with those is, you know, if you're not super careful, and it can happen, is you can cut right into your crank snout, and then you have a leak that you'll never ever fix. So the way I like to do it is I usually just heat this to smithereens with a torch, and then 2 pry bars, and it usually slips right off. So that's what I'm gonna do. While I'm working on that, I got Gabriel. He got his starter in. We got our SCT EGT probe kit. So pretty standard, like every other EGT probe. You got an 1/8 inch MPT plug that you got to get in. And so we got our 1/8 inch MPT tap. We got our 21/64 drill bit. And now let me show you where you're going to put the the sensor itself. So what I like to do is I get it right around this area, right where it starts to turn. You can kind of just drill a hole straight up and down and tap it. And there's enough meat in this area that I've never had an issue with a plug coming out or any sort of leaks or something like that. So pretty straightforward. We're just gonna go ahead and drill it out and get her installed. Now that you got your hole drilled nice and straight, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your 1/8 inch NPT tap. For whatever reason, my camera's not focusing. There we go. You guys can see I got a little bit of grease on here just to catch any of the metal. Not that it's going to be a huge deal if it goes in the turbo, but try to mitigate as much of it as you can. Biggest thing about this part of the process is just make sure you're keeping the tap nice and straight, and you're going to run the tap about halfway in. You don't want to go too far because pipe thread is tapered, so the further you go, the bigger you make the hole. So you guys can see how the grease just kind of catches all the metal. That way you don't have to worry about it going through your exhaust system. And now you take your fitting, a little bit of anti-seize. Little goes a long way. Put it right in and just tighten it up nice and snug. Nothing crazy. And then once you got your fitting in, you can get the sensor itself in, snug it down as well. And then now you just got to run your wiring up into the cab. All right, so we got our oil pump cover all cleaned up, new OEM gasket. We got our new front main seal with wear sleeve. We got our fancy dancy installer tool, and then some green Loctite. So if you guys watched my video on the 6.0 assembly before, you know how this goes. If not, we're gonna show you how by showing him how. All right, so first things first, we're gonna get this installed. You got your 10mm bolts. Just go ahead and throw it on. It's pretty self-explanatory. You got 2 dowel pins that'll line this up.
So I gotta put the bolts in a hole and put it on the engine?
You, oh my God. Bro, I'm looking through the camera. I can't, oh my God. I can't stand you. Let's go ahead and bolt that thing there.
Yeah.
Don't over tighten it. Okay. There's technically a torque, but
yeah, honestly,
since it's your truck, I don't care.
We can't really mess this up though. Me.
Don't put it past you. Yeah. Now you got your oil pump cover installed. Let's go ahead and get our tool ready. Take this nut off, split it. We basically need the inside part.
And guys, if I can do it, any of you can do it, that's for sure.
Well, we gotta make sure you can do it first.
Yeah.
Well, you need the bolts. You need the bolts. So that's gonna go on your crankshaft seal, or your crankshaft snout. Okay. So if you look on the bottom, See, there's the
Oh, I
hole
see.
for
Okay.
the keyway pin.
Gotcha. Okay.
So go ahead and put that on there. And then just basically hand tight, nothing crazy. All right, now you got the inside part of the tool on the crank. Now you take your crankshaft seal, take your green Loctite, and run a little bead on the wear sleeve on the inside here. Perfect. And that'll just seal up the wear sleeve to the crank and not allow any oil to seep past. So now go ahead and take that and this whole shebang. Got your wrench. Now you put the seal on first, just slide it forward as far as it'll go. You gotta put the seal on correctly. Let's try that again. All right, back it out.
Is it the other way?
Yes.
Oh. Well, my instructor didn't tell me. Okay, so it goes this way?
Yes, goes that way. There you go. That's good. Oh, don't slide the seal off of the wear sleeve. There you go. And pull it back.
Hey. It's on there. Okay.
Okay. It's got enough. That's good. That's it right there. That's fine. So now you take your tool, slide it over. You got your bearing and washer and your nut. And then you got your 24 mil wrench and tighten her until she's snug.
Candy basket. Oh God, another jacket. My stocking's filled with acid. Am I dreaming? What just happened? This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas.
And as you guys can see, what's cool about that tool is it gets the seal set in perfectly along with the wear sleeve. We're just gonna wipe off this excess green Loctite, and then we're gonna go ahead and get the harmonic balancer installed. Wasn't so bad, right?
Nope, it's pretty easy actually.
All right, moment of truth. Let's see if tightening all the cables on the starter fixed the starter issue. Well, unfortunately, the starter R&R and tightening the cables did not fix his issue, as you guys can see. So we had to order up one. He's gonna get that coming. In the meantime, I'm gonna start working on getting his intercooler out, just popping off all these clips and getting into here, and we can get this intercooler ripped out.
A Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad. I've been bad, got coal that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember.
All right, we got the intercooler out. Pretty straightforward. You got your two boost tubes, of course, that you gotta undo. You got this cross member here that you unbolt. You take everything off. There's a bolt here on this side on the intercooler itself, and then pretty much the intercooler slides straight up, and we can see And we can see where we had our failure is right here, where the intercooler meets the center section, basically where the tank meets the radiator side. Try to get it cleaned up. You guys can see that crack in the welds right there. You can see where we had to repair this tank already. And it just seems like it's just gonna keep finding the next weakest link. So unfortunately, while we do love our Sinister products around here, they did help us out with this. It just doesn't seem like it's gonna hold up. We've been fighting this as a boost issue for a long time. So we're gonna go ahead and get this replaced with a cast CSF, again, that we've had no issues with. Just kind of sucks that we've had so many issues with this intercooler, especially since we're not pushing that much power. This is a CSF intercooler that we're replacing the Sinister one with. As you guys can see, it's pretty solid construction. You got your cast tanks on each end, nice thick cooling area. I don't know how many rows, but it's a pretty stout cooler. Huge upgrade over your OEM one with the plastic tanks that like to blow out. So definitely recommend. Great bang for buck value. This is pretty much what we put in all the trucks here at the shop, and I believe it only costs retail about $400 or $500. I could be wrong on that, but it's one of the cheaper options out there and really good quality in my opinion.
Okay. Hold it in place. Use the other hand, put your hand right here. Okay. Hold it right there when I tell you. Okay. Where's my light? All right, go ahead.
Ouch.
Yeah. Hold on.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. That hurt.
You okay?
Yeah.
Wanna try
Next
again?
time, if I'm gonna try again, I'm using the ratchet.
Well, as they say, that escalated rather quickly. While I was putting the intercooler in, Gabe was getting the starter in, the new one. And once we got it all buttoned up, we went to start the truck up. Wouldn't you know it, same noise. So basically what we found is as you roll it over, right around this part, it catches just enough, and it actually catches the starter and brings it out. Not sure 100% if it's bent or if it just has some teeth marks from the other starter chewing it up or something that are catching. But either way, we're gonna go ahead and replace the starter, or I mean the flex plate, I'm sorry. And then yeah, so luckily 2-wheel drive, we got this out in about 30 minutes, or I doubt even that much, but either way, at least we found the problem, and we will get another flex plate coming.
You talk now, Frank.
All right, guys, it's Miller time. We're gonna call it a day. We got quite a bit done. We got the intercooler done. We got the front main seal done.
Yeah.
We got the trans issue figured out as far as the output
seals.
shaft seals. We got the starter R&R'd like 5 times. Yeah, we got,
I'm real good at it right now, actually.
yeah. And as you guys can see, we had a issue with the flex plate. We're gonna have to get figured out.
Yeah.
We're just gonna get a new one coming. Luckily, figured it out at least. And luckily, again, that it's a 2-wheel drive, made the transmission pull real easy. But we still got a few more things we gotta do. There's probably gonna be a part 2 to this video. We got the airbags that we wanna get working, because he's actually got a set of Firestone airbags that are on the truck already with onboard air lines, everything all hooked up, ready to go. We just got to figure out whether we got leaks or anything like that. We'll get those working. We also weren't able to get to the high pressure oil leak yet, so we definitely got to figure that out so we don't have another starter issue again. And then overall, we'll probably go through the whole truck, just kind of inspect everything, make sure she's really ready. Again, as if we're going to use it as a tow rig, we really want to make sure that it's 100% ready to go. And yeah, so if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave them down in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And
Have a great night. Day.
and we'll see you next time,
And we'll see you next time.
bro.